Announcing His Royal Highness King Connor.
Hello, gentlemen. And the crowd goes mild.
Look at him being adored by his loyal subjects.
You know, Wyatt, I recently learned that there's a phrase in French that refers to lynching, and it's about sending him to the lamppost. Comes from the French Revolution.
Oh, wow.
What a fun fact.
Wow. It's too bad it's a French fact. Nobody likes those.
Yeah.
You know, that's the downside. That's the downside. Welcome to this, my loyal subjects, to episode 113 of the Duels of Mana Dorks podcast, a Magic the Gathering news, information, and goofing around with the boys cast, if you will. I am, of course, King Connor, joined by Squire Wyatt, aka the typical Gemini, and my scorned what's the jealous younger brother character in all of these fucking medieval fantasies that like wants to be the king, but like the wannabe usurper.
Yeah,
you know.
the usurper.
The wannabe usurper. The other half of the Dungeon Bros, Sam.
See, I thought it was going to be Squire Sam and Jester Wyatt or something
Jester
like that.
Wyatt. No, I can't give you the title of my cat. You know, that would just be offensive.
Got you.
That's where your lordship draws the line.
Your Grace.
For those of you that don't get the bit, watch our 2025 sealed chaos pool thing. It was pretty cool.
Don't watch the first one though. Watch the second one where I actually do something.
Wyatt won his first matchup in the run of this now twice yearly series we've done. What do you guys? I had this thought about the chaos pool. We keep a pack from every set that comes out in a year, make a sealed pool with it, and then play it kind of chaos style. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to throw in a foundations pack in there to like kind of ease it through, because some of these card pools are rough to deal with?
You know what? I feel that we get so much product. I don't feel the easing. I think that's part of the whole thing. It's just the wildness, trying to jam
be riding our bikes
spacecrafts and cars and universes beyond and Lorwyn, and we're just
Dude, this year is going to be a fucking doozy.
Yeah,
of
be
draft
all over the place.
Sure.
Holy shit! Thematically, all over the fucking spectrum with this one. It's going to be insane. But we've got more time on our hands today because I'm done with my coaching of the swim season. So we have time to actually sit and talk and get Sam in. Get a third voice in here to shut us the hell up, which needs to happen sometimes.
You're too kind, my liege.
I try. But the Duels of Mana Dorks podcast, of course, every other week on all of the podcast services around the globe. You can get the video on YouTube, youtube.com/thedungeonbros. You can get early ad-free access to all the podcasts, patreon.com/dungeonbros. $5 a month gets you early ad-free access. $15 a month gets your name read at the show, at the end of the show, at some point during the show even. I mean, I like talking about Brandon Vol all the time, quite frankly.
We shout you out all the time.
Because the man deserves it.
100%.
Sam knows how much that man fucking deserves it.
Keeping the lights on.
What a guy. What a champion. You can also join for free if you want to just show your support. You know, you can comment and submit questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, and ideas.
Just leave it on in the background when you're sleeping. I don't know.
That's true. Ooh,
we can do ASMR.
Put us on your second screen and just
great second screen content.
It's fantastic. Absolutely. Second screen content. Now, in terms of the news, there's some interesting little tidbits to bring up. We've had some various Secret Lair things. People are upset they weren't able to get their hands on this beauty right here, the Dan. Ooh, I love it. It's so fun.
I love it. Subtle flex. It's the subtle flex.
I mean, it's not subtle at all. I'm very happy that I got We got some Secrets of Strixhaven. We got the product lineup and prices available to us. A couple cards starting to trickle out. We're not quite in preview season yet, so we're not really going to have a ton of cards to talk about.
So we're technically already in preview season then. This is
much.
pre-preview season.
This is preview season.
This is hors d'oeuvre season before the first salad course season.
Right.
This is deviled egg season. We're in
before
deviled
the
egg
super
season.
salad.
Yeah. This is cocktail weenie season. Yeah. What's the little, like the crustless little sandwich? What's the vegetable? It's like a cream cheese cucumber sandwich.
Cucumber sandwich?
There you go. Yeah.
Why did I forget the
Uncrustable?
You had me at I was going to say. Got some Deadpool Secret Lair leaks. We've got possible changes to the Legend rule and an entire Secret Lair deck that was shipped out that hasn't even been announced yet. Lucky to those or I guess unlucky if you really wanted the Dan Secret Lair deck and you got fucking Goblin Storm.
You better get both. Better send him a message or something. Be like, hey, look,
like,
this
give
is
me my
cool and all, but
pay for this one.
Give me my fucking Dan deck now. Well, I saw one tweet of a guy because the max quantity on the Dan decks was 2. They got a Dan deck, and then their second Dan deck was the Goblin Storm, and he was like, I was going to sell my second Dan deck on the secondary market, but I kind of just want to keep both of them now. So
why not?
That guy got a sweet deal.
You never look a gift horse in the mouth.
Never do. And then we'll wrap it up with all of the no banned and restricted announcement things that happened, because nothing got banned and restricted except Food Chain Historic, but that's Arena. Who cares about Arena?
But there are whispers, my liege.
And a new implementation of AI into Spelltable. So and it's not the good kind of AI that'll be like, oh, this is what that card does. It's going to be the AI that's like, we're monitoring everything you say and do. Anyway, let's just jump right into the big one. We got Secrets of Strixhaven product information. This is the next full set pre-release coming out on April 19th. Or sorry, April 17th. I was looking at the wrong date in the little document here. That's on me. And then the full set releases on April 24th. For this set, pre-release season, you're going to have 5 kits to choose from, very similar to the Tarkir Dragonstorm. They are going to be seeded themed pre-release kits instead of the normal pre-release kit. So instead of 6 play boosters, you will get 5, and then a seeded pack that goes to the theme of your school. That pack will include 14 college-aligned cards. So if you do the Silver Quill, you're going to get a bunch of white and black cards, and then a foil, rare, or mythic is guaranteed in that pack, which I think is pretty cool.
Which could be a preview of the next set. So if track record holds,
right? Well, it's a whole thing.
What comes after Strixhaven? Marvel Super. Oh yeah. So if I open a Strixhaven pack and Captain America's sitting there staring at me, I'll tell you what.
I mean,
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna be pretty upset if I go to the pre-release and someone drops Doctor Doom on me, and I'm just gonna be like, "This is not even that right now."
But the upside is, if that happens, you can go to your Marvel Superhero pre-release, and then you can just get an extra promo pack for Secrets of Strixhaven. So free value.
It works out in the end.
We got
value. Jesus,
pure value.
Pure chicanery.
The pre-release kits do not have a listed MSRP on them, unfortunately. I suspect, much like everything, they're going to be more expensive than normal. So we're probably looking at like $45-$50, which is bullshit. But
what are you gonna do these days, huh?
Sam, I don't know if you remember what the price was when we were first getting into Magic in 2022. Or at least my second go around, it was like $30.
Yeah, it was pretty. Kit. So I remember back then we were talking about it. We would get 2 or 3 or 4 of these because compared to even bundles or we would get display boosters, draft booster displays all the time just to rip. But these were so much more cheaper. And now the last time I went to my local game store to pick one up, I was like, oh, this is almost the same price as a bundle, which is 3 more packs, 40 lands and. Some other crap.
Yeah. It used to be a excellent choice. Mm-hmm. A no-brainer almost to get a pre-release kit. And now
it's like if you don't like playing sealed, then there's literally no point.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. Unless you're like and it's not even, you can't even get a stamped foil promo anymore. It's just a regular foil promo.
The one thing that would like mark that you were there that day.
Exactly.
But
even
whatever.
Like I remember I got a whole bunch of Lord of the Rings pre-release kits because they were affordable, and one of the like extended art like poster style cards where they cut it up into 6 was pre-release kit exclusive, and I was trying to get all those without buying a single because I'm crazy and I like wasting money apparently.
There you go.
But yeah, pre-release, get a pre-release kit only if you plan on actually participating in a pre-release. Otherwise, probably not a very good deal. Also, probably not a very good deal anymore. The new Commander decks, $50 MSRP. The price just keeps going up. We're going to be getting 5 Commander decks this go around, all of them 2-color. You got the Silver Quill Influence, which is helmed by Killian. It cares about tap, goad, and aura-based enchantments. Prismari Artistry, blue-red, helmed by Rutha, that wants you to cast big spells and makes big elemental creature tokens. Witherbloom Pestilence is black-green. You get Dina, drain and gain, and then you sacrifice stuff while draining and gaining. And when you sacrifice stuff, she draws your cards, and it's a wonderful time. Quandrix Unlimited, blue-green. It's helmed by Zamone. She wants you to cast Hydras, X-spell things. And when you do, she gets +1/+1 counters. And then those +1/+1 counters on her reduce the cost of your X-spells. So it's kind of a infinite feeding thing. Isn't that crazy? And then Lorehold Spirit, white-red, helmed by Quintorius, which is a planeswalker. That can be your commander. Cares about stuff leaving the graveyard and then making spirits and then spirit typal stuff to buff those spirits and make them stronger. $50 MSRP. These decks are going to have 12 new to Magic cards each, it seems. Whether or not they are good remains to be seen. We haven't seen the deck lists for them. We do have the commanders themselves available to see online, though you can tell by the images that it's like, we probably weren't supposed to see them quite yet.
Yeah.
So Wyatt, what do you make of right? What do you make of the commander decks? Do you think $50 is pushing it too far? What's the Marvel? What are the Marvel commander decks going to look like? Fucking $80?
Probably. I mean, honestly, what always gets me about the value of the commander decks is usually the commander exclusive cards, is the cards that you can't get in the regular packs that come in the decks. Those are the ones that usually end up being the money cards, but the way Magic has been trending, even with cheap things, like there are some uncommons that have been creeping up $3 to $4 or $5, and I mean, by charging $50, it's just going to keep going up, you know. It's just one of those things where it's like you're pricing up because your product is going up, but by pricing it up makes the product go up even more.
Sam, do you plan on picking up a Secrets of Strixhaven commander deck?
Probably not. I mean, like, as far as price goes, what kind of stinks into what Wyatt is mentioning is like a lot of these decks, because of 1 or 2 cards, oftentimes you can't build. You could build the deck. A lot of the previous commander decks for very cheap, except for 1 or 2 cards, and I'm sure these will be no exception. So most of the deck is going to be $20, and then 2 cards are going to push it up to like $80-$90. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to it, there's interesting, like, at least looking at the commanders, like, okay, these would be interesting in some other decks that already exist. It doesn't have any feel to me right now of anything. It doesn't scream to me, this is a Strixhaven exclusive deck, or this is a mechanically unique deck. This is just another Simic counters deck. This is another Spellslinger deck.
Yep.
You know, which nothing wrong with that. Just I've been, we haven't been playing for all that long. What, 4 years now? Connor and I have been.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I already have some of these decks, or I've built them, or I've played them enough that I'm like, I don't need to spend $50 on these.
No. But that's just one of the things where it's like, you wait to see, and sometimes people even guess wrong as to like what's going to be like a standout card in the decks, and then that card is difficult to get a reprint, usually. Like, one of the things I always go back and think about is Grim Hireling. Grim Hireling was in the packs, but it was also in the deck, and still, even right now, I think it's like a $12 or $14 card.
Yeah, it's in that $10-ish range.
Yeah.
But that was also a Commander Legends product.
Right. So specifically for, but what I'm saying is, it's like, again, one of those things, look up Fierce Guardianship, look up Deflecting SWAT, things that came out specifically in those, and sure, we got reprints eventually, but how long did that take?
And
Far too long and far too in between.
And with more
those
people
reprints
coming
didn't
into the
really-
game all the time, it's only made the price go up because there's like a limited quantity of them.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the
we've
reprints
cut you
really
off
didn't
twice.
balance the price it out at all. Because
Yeah,
as soon
not
as
at
they
all.
drop, they would jump back up because, a lot of people want them in every deck.
Highly in demand.
Yeah, but, at the end of the day, my liege, what school would you pick?
As much of a blue-red slut as I am, I feel like I'd go Witherbloom. I don't know what it is about the black-green Strixhaven feeling. It's like a little different.
Yeah.
It's
Excellent
got a little
choice,
twist
my
on it,
lord. Yes. Sacrifice the lesser creatures.
Oh, man. Anyway, those are the commander decks. We'll blitz through the rest of this. The Codex bundle, we've kind of talked about the Codex bundle, and the Draft Tonight bundle. Same price of $89.99. Either do you want 2 collector boosters and then 6 boosters and like a Codex bundle that might have like a Soul Ring or a Talisman that's got fancy art in it? Or do you want a bunch of play boosters that are slightly discounted if you take away the cost of the collector booster for the Draft Night bundle that's probably not going to be sold at that MSRP, so it doesn't matter. In addition to like your standard bundle, which the crazy thing about the regular bundle, okay, $57.99. You get 9 packs, and then you get your 15 foil lands, your 15 non-foil lands, promo spin down dice and box. The price per pack in a bundle right now is $6.45, and the MSRP is $5.50 for a pack. You're getting almost $1 more per pack. You have to spend $1 more per pack to get a bundle for what? 30 lands, a dice, a promo, and a box. Mm-hmm. Feels like it defeats the entire purpose of buying the bundle in the first place. You might as well just pick up 9 packs and call it good.
Right.
Call it a day.
It's the value proposition of these like supplementary non-booster box products. There is no value for it anymore.
I think that kind of goes back into this like thinking of almost making it not making it easier, but like a convenience thing almost. Like they're hoping people will just see hoping new players will just see that, oh, this comes with lands and this is that and this is that, and they won't really think about the math behind it and just scoop the bundle up and then go home and realize that you could have got lands at your local game store or from your buddy that plays Magic because they have 2 whole boxes worth of lands.
Or just proxy them like Deadpool.
Yeah, or proxy
There
them
you
like
go.
Deadpool.
Got someone opening like a Mystical Archive stock up and they just write Island on it. Like, insane.
This is actually my time walk.
This is my time walk. The last thing that's worth noting here, standard theme decks, $24. There's 2 of them. These are 60 card pre-constructed decks that you can play in standard. Eerie, which is Azorius, presumably enchantment stuff if the Eerie
Mechanic.
Keyword.
Keyword,
Mechanic.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Holy fuck. I can't remember shit today. From Duskborn House of Horror is the reference here. And then just an Orzhov life gain deck, presumably gain and drain. We don't really know any of the cards in them other than the eerie one has the fucking the guy that when you play an enchantment you draw a card, Entity Tracker.
Blue Enchantress.
Yeah, that blue Enchantress.
Yeah,
And then life
yeah.
gain has the fucking like cave bat, the deep dwelling bat on it, from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, which should be rotating out relatively soon.
I thought it would be like Star
the standard
Caller,
rotation's all
whatever,
fucked up.
the one from Bloomborough where it's like you gain and drain, but
Something like that. Now, that's just a rundown of all the Secrets of Strixhaven stuff. As we're getting close, we're going to get into preview season. You need to know what you're getting into before you decide to buy. So that's what all that is. Not necessarily new information, but pertinent information
yes,
to bring up.
Do
What
not
is
let
some
your friends
new-
get swindled by a bundle.
Do
Convince them
not.
to buy the packs instead.
Yeah, just buy packs. Just buy
Swindled
packs.
by the bundle.
What is interesting and a bit on the news front, and it kind of this from a month ago. This article was posted a month ago, and it kind of flew under the radar until really recently. This is one of the feature articles on magic.wizards.com. Eric Engelhart started talking about design decisions made with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set, and all the way at the bottom, people just started cluing into this. They bring up making a creature non-legendary after hearing a lot of the criticism of recent Universes Beyond sets. It's like, do we need a common, uncommon, rare, and mythic rare for Raphael? Do we need a common, uncommon, rare, and mythic rare for fucking Aang? You know?
No.
The Universes Beyond and like the named character thing with their history of named characters being legends in Magic is kind of where the friction is happening here. The main thing that I want to bring up, the legendary super type. It has three main things that it affects in gameplay. The first is you can't have more than one copy of a legendary creature on the battlefield. It's been like this for basically since Legends as a super type came into existence.
Right.
It used to be that like if you were playing against someone and you had a legend and they played a legend, it would just kill your legend because there could only be one on the battlefield at all.
Right.
And then it became on your battlefield instead. The second thing that the legend super type affects, if a card includes the name of a specific character, it has to be legendary. Any named character. The third is a legendary creature can be a commander and can lead a commander deck. Those are the main rules-based design philosophy things that the legend super type carries. Mark Rosewater and Eric apparently have argued that there should be some kind of adjustment made to the legend rule. But removing legendary status from some characters who aren't the focus of their universe and using as many generic creature concepts as possible was a way to get R&D, was the way the majority of R&D wanted to handle the issues. And they had some good points. They can make legendary creatures, even at common, slightly more powerful than normal because you can't usually have multiple copies of them in play. The existing system works very well for Magic Multiverse sets with lower legendary counts. And existing system is familiar and functional, and the cost of re-educating everyone if we changed or added to it was pretty high. He goes on to clarify that Mark and Eric both favor either removing the second rule so they can put a common Leonardo in a set and have him not be a legendary, as commons generally don't make for exciting commanders anyway, or creating a new term or symbol that means I'm a specific character and can lead a commander deck, but I don't trigger the legend rule. Very interesting design philosophies there. I lean much more on the side of just let Leonardo not be a legendary.
Yeah.
The common Michelangelo doesn't have to be legendary. It could be a younger version of Michelangelo before he's like fucking all ninja'd out. in the pre-show,
Could just be a turtle.
in the pre-show, before we started recording, I brought up Raphael Tough Turtle, which is the red common Raphael. There's no reason that card needs to be legendary. And if they removed the legendary and they wanted to make sure that named characters remained as legendary always, they could just call it Tough Turtle and then have it be Raphael.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the only Raphael card in the set. If it's the only one in the set, you should probably make it a legendary and maybe not print it at common.
Right.
And if it's
But this is how they kind of pad out those sets, I feel.
And if it's such a minor character that it would be printed at common, maybe it shouldn't be a Universes Beyond set to begin with. But I digress. Sam, do you think the legend rule needs changing? How would you handle this from like a design philosophy standpoint?
Well, it's interesting if you think about it, because it's one of those problems that when they originally designed legends, the legendary creature or super type, they probably didn't expect such down the line that they'd be throwing so many into any sort of environment or have the need to throw any into any sort of environment. My mind always goes to, there is a series of cards, and it's like 10th district something. It's a Ravnica character that is only legendary in her 4th iteration. I can't remember what the first three.
10th district legionnaire.
Yep.
Yes. There's she's the 10th district scout, and then you see her in the next version, and then you see the next version. Finally she gets, and the only way you can tell is by the flavor text. And I'm sure that was kind of the original thought was, oh, we're going to start being able to tell stories and eventually have these characters be super powerful, known characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like you're saying, having to force creatures to be legendary just so they fit into the universes beyond is a little silly. And obviously they say it in the article. They pointed out in the article, the Putrid Pals and Insectoid Exterminator, these are referencing legendary creatures or named creatures. Obviously they're not legendary within the universe of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they have cards that are not legendary. I think this is a more useful way to go about it. And like you said, we don't need 4 versions of Raphael. That could have literally been all it is an impact tremors on a creature. We have dozens of those at this point. Why did it need to be a legendary Raphael at common?
I agreed. Now, before the comments roast you, Sam, I do wanna call out. I went in the Scryfold typed 10th district. All right, you got the 10th district guard, which becomes the 10th district veteran, which becomes the 10th district legionnaire, which then becomes in Murders at Karlov Manor the rare 10th district hero, which is just a human, but it has 2 activated abilities that are kind of like that Frodo Sauron's Bane thing where it changes the power toughness, and then the second one makes it legendary and changes its name to Maleva the Stalwart, which is the name of the character the 10th district thing is referencing. So while it is not technically a legendary creature, the vibe is still exactly what you were saying.
And that's what we're here for. Vibes.
100%. Why couldn't it have just been a legend? You fumbled at the goal line with the whole vision of the character, but I digress.
Well, they weren't sure if they were going to go back to Ravnica so soon, and they were like, people are really going to ponder, keep themselves up at night wondering about this Legionnaire, so we got to make it legendary. What if we never go back to Ravnica?
Again.
What if we only go back to New York?
What if we only go back to New York? We visited New York twice in 6 months.
Not Magic the Gathering flavored New York. Actual, real life New York.
And they're not even the same New York.
No bagel and schmear.
That's the other thing. The reason we're in this legend rule situation to begin with is because they're starting to print legends at common because they don't have enough with these properties to fill out a full set. Now, Spider-Man, obviously, they have the source material to fill out a whole set. It's just they didn't have the time because they were like, this is going to be an Aftermath thing. It'll be great. And then pivot. Oops.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Now, with Turtles, it was never envisioned as an Aftermath style set from what they've said.
Right.
It was always going to be a smaller standard legal set, kind of like how those last couple sets were in the block days.
The good old days.
I don't know. They had the block system had its issues.
It did.
But even in a small set environment, Ninja Turtles has so few iconic visuals and characters that we need 4 Raphaels, 4 Michelangelos, 4 Leonardos, 4 Donatellos, 1 at each rarity. And we need...
don't forget that the villains not only get their own card, but then they get a team-up card.
Mm-hmm.
The Turtles get their own team-up cards, too. It's like...
Master Splinter.
You're getting these characters over and over and over and over again. And then you still have to have the fucking City Pigeon knockoff. And this is a set that's under 200 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the fix to this we don't want to print legendary creatures at common situation is to pick universes that warrant a whole fucking set.
Well, I think they're just gonna coast off the high of Final Fantasy for a minute. And just be like, yeah, guys, we nailed it. The perfect Universes Beyond set.
And they apparently love Spider-Man, too, because it's one of the top 10 best-selling sets of all time. From the distributors to the stores, which is the only thing that Wizards of the Coast cares about. From stores to consumers, on the other hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, please, take a pack. Take a pack of Spider-Man.
You know, guys, come on. Buy one, get one half off.
Well, at
what if
Costco,
we pay you $10 to take one?
at Costco, $20 will get you the little Spider-Man pack bundle that's got 6 packs in it for $20, and a Miles Morales promo that, last I checked, was valued at like $10.
So go to Costco.
And it's still not selling. It's been there for months. Yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales. The promo version is now $5 because it's more well-distributed than the starter deck version. But still, $15 for 6 packs, and people still aren't buying them.
Crazy.
It's sad. It's sad, and they should be embarrassed to call that a top 10 best-selling set, in my opinion. Do you guys have anything else you want to say about the legend rule?
I will say, I heard another creator put it very succinctly recently with the overprint, with how many legends and when they start printing legends with the same name. He said, I like back in the old days when there was only one of a legendary creature. Nowadays it's hard to, when I'm relating the story, be able to say, which mono blue Donatello kicked my ass.
It's true.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's true. It's probably not the common one. Probably not the common one, would be my guess.
Hey, you never know. There's some crazy decks out there.
Speaking of decks, Secret Lair. We'll go to the deck one second. Secret Lair. At least there's one product line that everyone universally loves and has no problems with, and that is the Secret Lair line. His lordship said sarcastically. So recently, content creator Talia Vess was sent a Secret Lair from Wizards of the Coast as part of a marketing thing. And she kind of opened it up and showed the cards, not really thinking anything of it, only to realize that she had revealed that Secret Lair drop. And that is a new Deadpool drop called I Fixed It, parentheses, you're welcome. In this drop, you're going to get 6 cards, and based on subsequent people opening this Secret Lair, other content creators that got them, it appears there's 2 cards that will be in one of the slots. So you're not guaranteed all exactly of these cards. But The value is not a whole lot, but the art is insane. You can get a Soul Ring, which is written over a worn Power Stone. You can get Lightning Greaves, which has been drawn over a Swiftfoot Boots. Deadly Dispute over a Costly Plunder. A Lightning Bolt that has been scribbled over a Lightning Strike. And then a Thrill of Possibilities, which was written over a card name that I don't know because I can't see the part of it that would let me know. But it's the Sarkon one where he's like going crazy. You discard a card and draw 2 cards. That one. And then, as we alluded to earlier in this podcast, this very same Duels and Mana Dorks podcast, an island where he crosses out island, writes in mountain, and then tapes over the red mana symbol on top of the blue mana symbol, crosses out the basic land type island, puts mountain.
Which is why I thought it was crazy you said the value wasn't there. I was like, they literally reprinted Volcanic Island.
And that's the meme. Now, the island mountain is not necessarily guaranteed. Ben Bateman opened up his. He got one as well. And instead of the island mountain, he got a reprint with a new frame of Deadpool trading card, the previous Deadpool Secret Lair legend.
Whoa.
So you're either going to get that or the island mountain. Now, obviously everyone's freaking the fuck out because they're reprinting my reserved list staple and trying to slip one by me, like idiots.
Yeah.
Who didn't get the joke. And we kind of alluded to this earlier. Back in the early days of Magic, when you didn't have a whole lot of basic lands running around, you couldn't just go to your local game store and get as many basic lands as you want because there's been one set that's come out. Oh, I really need mountains. I'm going to take this basic island that I opened out of a pack and I'm going to cross island out with a pen and I'm going to write in mountain. And it's a mountain now. That's what this is referencing. It's not rocket science, guys.
No. This is them soft launching the reprinting of the reserve list as a Secret Lair. Sorry to let you guys know.
And there are also people that were like, it's offensive to say Mark Poole is dead. And it's like, no, he inserted the word dead because his last name is Poole and it makes Deadpool like the character. You fucking insufferable assholes.
He also does Pool Party.
My thing is I want to know who approved this Secret Lair. Who was like, guys, we way overprinted these cards. What are we going to do with them? They've been sitting in our warehouse, and someone was just like, what if we just drew on them? Made them good cards. Called it Deadpool.
Now, I'm okay with the card choices. They don't need to be super powerful cards because the art is out of this world crazy.
Yes. It makes sense for Deadpool as the character.
What I have a problem with, I don't know if you've seen the foil in motion, the confetti foil that they're calling it. It looks like when you were a kid and you went to like the flea market. Okay? Okay, stay with me.
Yep, I'm with you already.
And they had the stack of Pokemon cards. But the back of the Pokemon card, it's like, that's not a Pokemon card back. And then you flip it over, and it's like, this says it's Pikachu. But I've never seen this art of Pikachu before. And why is it so fucking shiny?
Okay.
Like, this is insane what this is. It looks like those cheap fucking flea market, third world country knockoff versions of the official cards.
Yep, I was about to say, not with Pokemon, but with Yu-Gi-Oh! Exactly.
Oh my god,
that.
the Yu-Gi-Oh! one.
I can't say I relate to this story.
Really?
Yeah.
So in the greater Cincinnati area, there's the Trader's World flea market. I would go there with my mom a whole lot when I was a kid. And there was, I fucking remember it perfectly. There was this one booth.
Yesterday.
They had fucking NES, SNES, like bins of these random retro video game accessories. And then an entire wall of like sports cards and Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. And then interspersed through all of that was just clear, obvious counterfeit cards. Just 100%.
Well, that was the thing. Like, when I remember getting those, I didn't know that there were, like, that there could be fake cards. Right. So I would have the real cards and the fake ones, and I would literally be like, this one doesn't even have the same name, but they're the same picture, same creature, everything. And so I would try to play with my friends, and they're like, those are not real. And I'm like, yes, they are. Look at them.
That's funny. Dude, I think I still have some. I think I do have some of those counterfeit Yu-Gi-Oh ones still in a bin somewhere.
Yeah.
I need to find them and pull them out for the next episode.
But that foiling, I instantly knew where you were going. But if you would like to get some of that foiling for your cards, there's like these inner sleeves that you can buy on Amazon that have a similar effect if you so desire.
You can get them cheaper on Temu, which is where they're being resold from.
There you go. Boom. Temu.
Oh God, there was a female Magic creator years ago. I don't know who not a very big one, but she was obsessed with blinging out her commander deck with the inner sleeves that have like the little foil hearts all over them. And I was like, that's adorable. And then I favorited it and then didn't think about it for years. And now I remembered it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Do you guys, the Deadpool Secret Lair, there's been no official comment on it. There's been no announcement for it. Presumably, much like the last Deadpool, this is probably going to be like a shadow drop April Fool's Day thing, would be my guess. The reprint value is simply not there.
What if they just pull the rug out from under us, and then they just drop a banger? It's like Deflecting SWAT, Fierce Guardianship, Grim Monolith.
Even better, hear me out. The underside card is Deflecting SWAT, and then he goes over the art, and it's like Chaos Warp, and then Fierce Guardianship, and then does like a different kind of more easy, like simple, like just counterspell.
Just counterspell.
Just counterspell.
That would be such a Chad move. I would be thrilled. That would be the coolest. That would be a slap in the face to everyone, but it would be so funny. I would honestly
It'd be
respect
like that one Secret Lair where they could like peel the card and it was like a forge underneath it or something. Like it was from one of the early Secret Lairs I'm remembering.
Now, what was that? It kind of that gives the same vibe of the Pokemon set where they had the Ditto arts, where it was like the sticker on top of the card that had the little Ditto symbol in the corner. If you did that, you knew it. You could peel the sticker up, and then the backside was a Ditto, and then the front side sticker. That was a cool bit. In terms of monetary value, the Secret Lair is probably not going to be there. Even if you get lucky and get the Deadpool trading card instead of the Mountain basic land, because that's what it is, Deadpool's still just a $20 card. Value ain't quite there. Now, if someone said, hey, I play this single copy of the Deadpool Mountain and I'm going to play it as a volcanic island, I'm not going to tell them no.
No. Go right ahead.
Whatever. I've said yes to people that took a basic land, cut it in half, and then taped the two edges together and put it in a sleeve, and it's like, this is a volcanic island. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
You know what's wild is consuming as much social media as we do these days. I've seen so many people now being like in favor of either like chopping the dual lands, the OG dual lands off the reserve list, or getting rid of the reserve list entirely. And here's the reason. They said because newer players do not get to play with the dual lands. And I said, I guess they don't get to play with the $400 to $1,200 ones, but shoot, I've proxied several of those several times. I'm gonna play with them. Don't you worry, old guy.
I have plenty of dual lands that I play with that weren't printed by Wizards of the Coast. Now
I have an exclusive, one of a kind dual land.
That's true. You do.
A Tundra.
Sam, I made a bit about opening a dual land from a pack, and it was just one of the tapped basic land type duels from Dominaria United that I put Tundra over. And I sent a gift to Wyatt and his wife recently, and I included the one of one custom. Clearly it was so important to him that he's completely lost it.
No, it's not completely lost. It's in my Magic stuff, and
It's in the deck.
Deeply unorganized.
Who made you that dual land, by the way?
You, my lord.
There it is. I think the last time you called me Connor, which is unacceptable in this punishment environment.
No, my liege.
Thank you. There it is.
Not at all. Just took me a minute.
We got there.
And
We got
in the
there.
pack he sent me, I got an Oko. So
That's true.
Hey.
Lorwyn Oko.
Loco Oko.
So this is a bit of a side tangent, but it's pertinent to what we're kind of talking about. You know, the newer format pre-modern.
yes.
A lot of the cards that are super playable in pre-modern are very, very cheap. But the original actual printings from before the modern format, like those old copies of the cards, have like 1,000% increased because the demand from pre-modern players to play with the old cards specifically when they're playing pre-modern is so high. And I totally see a reality where your actual factual from the 90s Volcanic Island might lose $50 if they reprinted Volcanic Island. But that 1994 copy of Volcanic Island is still going to be a multi-$100 card. Even if they reprinted it in every fucking Commander pre-con ever.
You know
I
what,
would
my
think.
king? I'm so glad you said that, because I was literally about to point out they already have a card like that. It's called Birds of Paradise.
Yeah.
True.
Think about how many printings of Birds of Paradise there is.
Or
You
there's
can get a cheap bird, you can get inexpensive birds, you can get a Monty Python bird, you can get a Lord of the Rings birds, but the alpha bird still holds quite the hefty price tag.
There's when I was helping a friend build a Nekuzar deck, they're like, hey, do you have this Narset Parter of Veils? It's like $18. I really don't want to spend $18. I was like, yeah, I have this copy from Commander Masters. That's 42 cents. You can have my 42-cent card.
Yeah. That's there's this wonderful feature on your deck building websites like Moxfield where you can set all the printings to the cheapest versions. And then you can just save a ton of money on these cards.
Yeah.
Now, do I think they should be reprinting? I don't think they should be reprinting OG duels into like every Commander precon. I think that would be a little
would
excessive.
never do something like that. But I could easily see them doing like special stuff. Just kind of like they do with the fetch lands now. Like the fetch lands still hold a price. Sure, they dip a little when you reprint them, but they go right back up.
Yeah. Same with the shocks. Right now, they're bottomed out because they're legal in standard and have been printed in 2 recent standard sets. But in a couple of years, if they haven't been reprinted again in another standard set, that price is going to keep going up forever until they print Shockland.
Shockland, but better.
Shockland, but you only pay 1 life. Like, it's just a good archetype of card. Now, I do wish there were a reality, one of those parallel multiverse realities in the MCU, very similar to our own, where instead of the Magic 30th anniversary product that we got, they went the route that Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon did for their anniversary releases, and was like, here's a $25 box where you can have a bunch of packs that, sure, they're not tournament legal, but if you're playing Commander and you want a Volcanic Island, you can pay $5 for a pack and you might get a Volcanic Island to play with. Like,
they could have just done gold borders. Those decks, they used to give out decks of like the people that would win the Pro Tour, and they would just be gold bordered cards. I've seen gold bordered, what is it, Gaia's Cradle? Mm-hmm. People play with that. It's fine. I had a gold border Vamp Tutor.
I want to say Gaia's Cradle, even the gold border one,
Is probably pricey.
is, let's see, Gaia's Cradle. Click on Gaia's Cradle. View all prints. Oh, it doesn't even show the gold border. Oh, wait, yeah, it does. There we go. The gold border one is still $292.
Yeah, so for a fake card, you can spend $292.
And that's not even getting into the Judge Foil $3,000 card.
And hear me out, you could join the Patreon, and our king might make you a custom Gaia's Cradle.
No guarantees about that.
If you join
zero guarantees
at the $20 tier, I promise you,
doesn't exist. That tier doesn't exist. It's a fake tier. It's false.
If you want to see a $20 tier where Connor draws over a guild gate,
where King Connor
draws over a guild gate and sends it to you, let us know.
I mean,
and then subscribe to the $15 tier, to show your support,
like Brandon does.
And then ask a question about why Connor hasn't made the $20 tier, where he will send you a card like this.
I last second took out the gold Posca marker and I gave it the little 1/1 to make it a 1 of 1.
Look at that.
It was good.
That's the touches you don't see these days.
That's the shit Wizards won't do for you.
Look.
Only the Dungeon Bros will.
Only the
when I animate this land, they'll know it's a 1/1. If that's not the best pitch for a Patreon, I don't know what is.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Shout out Brandon Bowl.
I might need to make one for Brandon now.
100%.
Anyway, moving on from the Deadpool Secret Lair, which is what we were talking about, we move on to another leaked Secret Lair. Purchasers of the Dan Secret Lair deck. Some of them were in fact not sent the Dan Secret Lair deck, and they were sent the Goblin Storm Secret Lair deck, a commander deck that has not been announced. Later on Reddit, the picture of the box was posted showing Secret Lair Commander Goblin Storm, asking questions if anyone had seen it. And then later, a deck list was uploaded to Moxfield. This will be a mono-red commander deck helmed by Zada Hedron Grinder, which is, as we were saying, a little disappointing. The total value of reprints in the deck, allegedly, if this deck list is accurate, is $271 as of the recording of this, largely off the back of the now $50 Roaming Throne from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and a first ever reprint of the legendary land Shinka the Blood-Soaked Keep, which is a red legendary land that can tap for red mana or pay a red and tap it, and a target legendary gains first strike. Super powerhouse in that one. Some other fun ones. You can get a Mana Geyser, and
hey, that card's been creeping up.
It's like $2. The rest of it's just a commander deck. It's got Throne of Eldraine. That's the other big one. $35 monocolor 5 mana rock that taps for a whole bunch. Ruby Medallion, Skull Clamp, Seething Songs, pretty cool. We haven't seen any art. No one's really opened it up and shown the pictures of the cards inside the deck, or probably scared of the Pinkertons coming after them, which,
at least we forget.
That's fair. Do you want a Secret Lair Goblins Typal commander deck helmed by Zada?
It's one of those things where, like we said, we were talking about before the recording started, and man, why Zada? Like, it has Krenko Mob Boss. It has just plenty. It has several other legendary goblins, and like in a Zada deck, what do you want to do, Wyatt?
Zada decks usually just want you to cast spells that target Zada,
right? And
make tokens. So I mean,
what this is like really lacking is that build. Sure, you have some things that target creatures, but not a lot.
Seems like it's more focused on the goblin aspect.
There's 4 instants that can target that you would want to target a creature you own. And then 1, 2, I guess technically, but that you don't like. You could target your grape shot. That's kind of dumb. Haze of Rage, Renegade, like
this
4, maybe 4 sorceries if I'm being very generous that you would want to target Zada with. Part of me thinks that the person that uploaded this deck list just kind of didn't realize who the commander was, because this feels much more like a Krenko mob boss list.
It does.
It
and
feels
Krenko's
like
in the 99.
a Muxus list. These are things you would see in Muxus, so you can
Muxus
get
isn't even
maximum
in the
Muxus
list.
value.
They literally either one of those would be much more sensible than Zada.
I mean, shit.
Crete is another one.
Give me Pashalik Mons. Like,
There's that other one, that new one that came out in Jumpstart that is like impact trimmers but also makes goblins. Do that one.
yeah, General Kriat, the Bolt Bringer.
The Bolt Bringer.
It's a $10 jumpstart uncommon, by the way. $10.
$10.
These jumpstart packs got some heat.
They did.
I mean, as far as like goblin lists go, I mean, it's fine. It's got a useful mana base that isn't just mountains. It's got interesting things that aren't just make goblin attack goblin, you know? It's fine. Throne of Eldraine, Roaming Throne are good reprints. I think Shinka is just a legacy. There aren't a whole lot of them, so there's not really a whole lot of value there. Interesting that there's Stormkiln Artist in this list. Just not a goblin, nothing to do with goblins at all.
Haze of Rage combo.
That's literally it. I don't know. It seems weird. It seems really weird. For $100, that could be a valuable proposition in terms of reprint value, especially depending on what the new card art for the Secret Lair would be. Wyatt, do you think it's going to be $100?
I do not. The trend of Secret Lair commanders has only been going up, and Wizards has gotten way more brazen about charging extra for not a whole lot. So I could easily see this being $200, $250.
Insane.
And them just being like, they'll pay it as goblins.
Yeah. You going to get the deck, Sam?
You know how earlier I was mentioning that in the few short years of playing Magic the Gathering, I had either built or played enough of those pre-cons they were offering from Secrets of Strixhaven. Yeah, this is every Goblin deck I've ever conceptualized.
Pretty much.
Even down to the Mog War Marshal, which is not a good card, but keeps ending up in it because I don't know. I think the art is fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun art. But
Good guy.
I mean, maybe they're like, oh yeah, we'll print this, and then we'll give them some really good cards that they can pull out when they're ready to upgrade it, like Mog War Marshal.
Like Mog, even better War Marshal.
Now, I think this Secret Lair lives and dies by what cards get the new Secret Lair art. Like, if the Roaming Throne and the Throne of Eldraine and the General Kriat get really cool arts, then
Oh, yeah.
I think that's pretty slam dunk.
If Mog War Marshal gets really cool art and he frame Mogs, Zada Hedron Grinder.
Frame mogging Zada Hedron Grinder is insane.
Clip it.
Insane shit, dude. What Gen Z hellscape are we finding ourselves in? This is insane. All right, we're moving on. I don't want to talk about goblins anymore. BNR from yesterday. All of the formats have no changes except historic, where Food Chain was banned because it was on the bonus sheet for TMNT. Jamie Klumparens, Jadine Klumparens, Gavin Verhey, Daniel Shu, and Carmen Klumparens. They go through and say why they think all the formats are fine. I don't necessarily disagree. I think Standard is probably in the best spot it's been in terms of gameplay, in terms of affordability. It's out of fucking control because the linchpin that all of the Standard decks are building around is how prevalent is Badger Bowl Club going to be at this particular event. and Badgermole Cub being an $80 card that you want a 4 of is a problem.
Yeah.
Pioneer, don't know about Pioneer, don't play Pioneer. Modern seems to be in a great spot. I think they make reference to the Sultai Living End deck. I think the Artifacts, Is It Affinity is a really cool modern archetype right now.
You just like anything with Is It?
I like anything with Pinnacle Emissary right now. That card fucking rules, dude. I guess Legacies and Vintage are cool.
I guess Legacy's like a thing.
Pauper, there's a problem with Pauper. There was the Turtle Team Up box. There's a common in there that's like super playable in modern or in Pauper Affinity, but you can only get it in the Turtle Team Up box. So that common is like $10.
Crazy world we live in.
Here it is. Utrom Monitor. 4 and a blue for a 3/3 artifact creature with flying that has affinity for artifacts.
Yep.
So in the right shell, a 1-mana 3/3 flyer, which is very powerful in Pauper. Pauper is the only other format that I really dig into. I have a Pauper deck right now. Also, that Utrom Monitor is $8. I was wrong. Sorry. It's an $8 common.
It's okay, my liege. You know, we're all wrong sometimes.
From a Prada. I'm the king. I can't be wrong. Yeah. All right. Pauper's cool. I like Pauper how it is. I've got a Rakdos Madness deck that I want to play in a Pauper event, hopefully soon.
Hell yeah.
Do you agree with the assessment, Sam, that the formats are in a good state right now and don't really need any adjusting? Obviously, this doesn't include Commander. It has its own BNR rotation that's a little different from the rest of the formats. But
so outside of Commander and Limited, I mostly play. I do a little bit of Standard on Arenas, and what I'll say is, for the most part, I hate seeing a Roboroid. I'm tired of seeing the fucking Roboroid, Saz's Chocobo, and Bristly Bill. I hate seeing those cards.
Ooh, Bristly Bill. Ooh,
Bristle.
That's all. You know what? I don't play meta decks. I like my mono green Vivid deck. That's fun, but honestly, it's fine. Yeah. And I think it's because I don't play in any sort of ranked. I just play the find a match. But when I see one of those ranked, one of those meta decks, man, is my 15 minutes ruined.
You're in the wrong queue.
Apparently, yeah.
Play your meta decks in the ranked queue. You know, do your dumb bullshit in the just general play. Come on.
Yeah, and my day is ruined.
Not my day, just my the next 15 minutes. Well, okay. If it's a Roboroid, Bristly Bill, and Saz's Chocobo, the next 5 minutes. Anyway. Yeah. It's not going to be a long game.
Yeah. Well, at least it's over fast.
Yeah.
One of the most filthy things I've seen in a game of Standard on Arena was they were on the play. They turn one Land of War Elves. I played a land and passed, and then they turned to land Badgermole Cub, tap the Land of War Elves for 2 because of Badgermole Cub, play another Badgermole Cub. And at that point, I think I just scooped. I was like, "This is ridiculous. I'm not."
No, you're like, yeah, you got it. I'll see you later.
You're good. Whatever. Have a great day. Take your win on the ladder, there, bud. Have fun.
Yeah. Was this my modern or my Standard League or Pyroclasm? All right, I'll see you.
Yep.
Pyroclasm needs to be reprinted in Standard. I think that'd be great. Wyatt, what do you think of the formats? Are we in a good spot right now?
I think so. I think that a lot of formats being in a good spot and being healthy are what you want to see. Unfortunately, I still think that Standard is a little bit too expensive to just be jumping into if you have not been, avidly buying packs and just kind of collecting things or specifically going for something like that. But that being said, I still do think Standard is in a good spot if you we're looking to get into it. Pauper, again, an excellent choice to get into. And yeah, enjoy your formats. Enjoy what you like to play.
Even the like non like top tier meta decks in standard. I'm looking at MTG decks right now. It's a repository for deck lists for events. I can speak. I know how to say words, hopefully. Mono red aggro. The classic archetype of mono red aggro that is the quote unquote affordable, accessible deck. It's got like 3% of the meta share right now from the last 2 months, and the average price is still over $200.
Yep.
And it's just frustrating looking at these decks, and it's like, oh, okay, I need 4 copies of this expensive land, or I need 3 copies of this $8 card in my sideboard because that's what the sideboard needs. If they can get the price thing under control, which I don't think they're really going to be able to, because a lot of these cards, like, where are you reprinting Badgermole Cub?
Right. Where does that fit in?
You can't. And unless they're going to start selling singles direct to consumers. Oh, wait. Like,
wait a minute.
Print to demand sell direct to consumers. Then it's just going to continue to be a problem. Even Wan Shi Tong, which isn't even really like a standard card per se. It's seen play in some decks. I don't know. I feel fortunate that I have a couple of 1 or 2 ofs for the new Is It Prowess. So who knows? I might spend $150 to complete it for a standard event. That's the other thing. It's like, are you really going to be a tournament grinder for standard?
Right.
I don't know.
Right. What I found very interesting was Loading Ready Run. They do, at the end of the year, they do a whatever year, so 2025, $25 essentially standard deck. So they say, here's $25. You have an hour at our game store, at our local game store, and you can only play cards that were printed. And yes, it has to be the exact printing of from 2025. And one guy goes, yeah, I think I'm going to try to do just something out of, like, I'm going to try to make a cheap version of the Is It Prowess deck in standard. Smash Cut. I cannot do that. There are none of them are under $25. Not a single card.
Well, the problem is that all of these cards have like a best in slot. You know, like your stock up is your best in slot card draw spell to get what you need. And like there just needs to be a wider, I would argue there needs to be a wider gambit of like 1 and 2 mana creatures that are competitive with one another instead of just these like overwhelmingly this one particular card is far and away the best 2-drop you can have. Mm-hmm. You know, right. Badgermole Cub is far and away the best 2-drop you can play right now in standard. If you're playing Is It Prowess, Slickshot Show Off is by far the best 2-mana creature you can play right now.
Hands down.
And it's not even close. But yeah, it's nice to see that the formats are relatively healthy. The price is the biggest problem, and that's something Wizards can't really fix. Even if they wanted to, I don't think they'd be in a position to fix it, unfortunately. Unless they were just like giving away cards at conventions to thousands of people in like play sets, you know?
Yep.
Last bit of news for the day, and this one is a little bit of an uncomfy announcement. Spelltable, the tabletop webcam commander, or I mean, it's not just commander. You can play any format technically, but the webcam way to play paper Magic around the globe is getting a new feature. They're adding the pilot program for enhanced moderation in an upcoming update to improve the experience of playing Magic against new friends on the internet. In the past year, Spelltable has hit an inflection point where it needs more scalable moderation tools to let our team keep the platform safe and fun way to play tabletop Magic remotely. As a voice and video platform, Spelltable has been challenging to moderate as it grows. To help do that, we've given our team a new tool from ggwp.com that we're going to try out. It utilizes, and here's the scary part, quote, voice recording and artificial intelligence to highlight and alert speech that may be harmful and elevate it to our customer service team for review. And it has been used by other gaming companies to meaningfully reduce online harassment. The tool uses AI to better sift through more data than our humans could reasonably process without help. You can read more about how the tools work on their website. Importantly, they control how the tool is configured and used on Spelltable, including what it flags and how incidents are routed for human review. Note that our policy on generative AI in Magic the Gathering hasn't changed, and this tool is simply meant to help our team moderate effectively. And while we're looking at policy, note that any information collected through the tool will be handled in accordance with our privacy policy and applicable best practices. They also reiterate that human moderators will make the final decision. AI is just simply part of the workflow, and it is a pilot program. It is not necessarily a final implementation. I don't need AI models recording all of my conversations while playing Magic.
Yeah. Not necessary. Don't need.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Don't need it. There hasn't been a whole lot of discourse about this right now. I don't think it didn't really get widely spread, which is a shame because having these kinds of, they specifically call it out as recording and then analyzing itself, like itself deciding, is this speech possibly harmful?
Right.
Like, what if the three of us hopped on a game of Spelltable and Sam fucking bolt waves my board, and I say, Sam, you magnanimous motherfucker, I can't believe you, and then I get banned on Spelltable.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like you called this guy the AI said you called this guy a motherfucker. We heard you call him a motherfucker. You're out. Now, is that realistically what's going to happen? Probably not. If a human is manually reviewing all of these and AI is just kind of rank ordering what's most important to go through, I don't think that's going to be necessarily a problem. But the idea that the AI tool has the power to be like, this is something you should look at, or this is something that should be ignored, that's dubious at best, I would say.
Absolutely.
When it, what stinks is like, yes, absolutely. If you want, which sounds like they want, you to meet up with random strangers online. Nope, not how I want that to sound. If they want you to expand your community and play online, yes, there needs to be some sort of protection, especially for children. I mean,
absolutely.
Roblox constantly makes the fucking news because, well, one, it's horrid brain rot for kids, and they're also now, there are adults who will use it to enact predatory action.
They refuse to crack down on pedophiles.
Yeah, pedoblocks.
They crack down on the people who expose the pedophiles. Yes.
There have been noted instances of teenagers committing suicide because people on Roblox bully them and tell them to.
Yep.
And so it's like, yeah, you need the moderator. You need some sort of safety tools for yourself and for your community. This doesn't sound like it.
No.
Look at what the PlayStation Network has done. Look what Xbox Live has done. What Discord does. Mm-hmm. I mean, Discord's probably not a great example either because they also got a bit of a pedophile problem.
Here's
the thing about these sort of chat environments, okay? This is going to sound awful. If you're having hate thrown at you, you can just leave. You don't have to stay there and take it. You can report the person, leave, file a report.
Mute them.
Yeah, mute them. I feel like a mute button and a report button would go way farther and be way healthier for the environment than an AI model recording and flagging your conversations in game.
Yeah, but I think that goes back to when that stuff gets filed, when something happens, like if you were to report someone, you know who has to read that report? A person. You know what you have to do for people? Pay them.
True.
Yeah.
And there's your sign. I imagine that a robust there are Spelltable alternatives already, but I could definitely see this as the beginning of the Spelltable revolution, and we're going to get like a very robust Spelltable alternative in the very, very near future. Much like, well, this is kind of the opposite of what D&D did with their virtual tabletop stuff, where they got to it way too late and they're like, we give up. Oh, man. Well, boys, that's all I've got on the document for today. I feel like we covered a good amount of stuff. We're still kind of in the calm before Strixhaven. We were talking last week on the podcast. We didn't have a whole lot to talk about. Got some juicier bits here to discuss, but we're still just kind of waiting and seeing. Gonna hopefully get some preview season started up soon. The set comes out in a month. I've seen like 10 cards.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Looks like they're keeping it pretty tight.
They are. You know what else is amazing? Having all three of the boys for this, the Lord's 113th episode of the Duels and Mana Dorks podcast. It's been a very good time. I appreciate you guys setting aside the hour and 20 minutes to do this. Tundra, you can make your own proxies of dual lands. You don't need to pay $800 for a volcanic island. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wyatt, Typical Gemini, thank you for joining us. It's been a joy.
As always.
What do you got going on for the rest of this week? What's on your life schedule?
I am doing my new job. I got a new job.
Hey.
And it's been fun just kind of getting into the swing of that, getting back into the swing of things, because when you've been without one for so long, it's kind of weird to go back to one.
Mm.
You gotta like get back in the whole rigmarole. And then just spending time with the kiddos.
Do you get more time to spend with the kids?
I get, yeah, definitely. The only thing about this one is it's a little bit of a longer drive than my old job was, but I mean, nothing's going to beat 10 minutes, so.
That's true. Now, you could listen to Mark Rosewater's podcast, where he goes in.
I listen to a lot of podcasts while I drive.
He's got a whole, like, series of 30-minute podcasts talking about magic design and shit that comes out every couple weeks, so I found that literally this week, and I was like, this is awesome. I love it.
Heck yeah.
Sam, thank you for joining us. It's been just so long. We're at the end of March, and we're just getting you in on the first one this year. Your life has been so unschedulable, quite frankly.
Indeed it has been.
I feel like it's fitting he's here for March.
It's true.
Barely made it in March, but we made it.
Barely. We got there. This will even go public in... Will it be in March? Yeah, it'll probably be in March.
Yeah, probably.
Monday. Yeah, it'll be in March still. It'll be in
Time
March.
is immaterial.
Yeah, it's a weird soup, you know. But what do you got going on in your days to come, Sam? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, I also have to work, much like Wyatt.
Some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and maybe hopefully later on this year I'll be able to join the podcast more often. I'm sure I'll announce more as we come closer to the possible future.
Indeed. As for
what
me,
about you, my liege? What are you?
Well, I'm gonna be cutting up planks of vinyl flooring this weekend. Maybe eventually my office, which has also been my bedroom for the last year and a half, might just become an office in the near future.
Ooh, room for activities.
Room to put all my dumb
activities.
Maybe I can get all of my magic shit off of the dining table that it's been on for the last year and get all that shit moved up here. Then I got a whole room for stuff. Who knows? We'll see how. I anticipate the flooring to go in well. I don't anticipate the moving of everything into the master bedroom to be something that happens very quickly. That'll probably be a slow over time thing. But yeah, looking forward to SCG Con. Still don't have any of the event schedules out for that in Cincinnati, even though SCG Con Cincinnati is in like 6 weeks. So we got a regional championship. I hope it's a sealed thing so I can participate and not have to build a fucking standard deck for a down payment on a car.
Yeah. Well, just don't buy Badger moles.
That's true. I'll just play a budget Is It Prowess for like $700, A budget. Budget Is It Prowess.
Yeah. The budget.
Well, my friends, thank you for joining today. It's been wonderful. This is all the time we have for the Lord's 113th episode of the Duels of Mana Dorks podcast. Every other week, podcast services around the globe. Patreon.com/Dungeon Bros. All that stuff. We love you very much. And as always,
goodbye.